Alright, in this video we're going to solve some simple 1- and 2-step equations and maybe do a little distribution. Okay, so the key to solving any of these 1-step equations or 2-step equations is to ask yourself what operation is being performed in this problem. Okay, when I see this problem, I say that P is being divided by 4. Because remember, a fraction is just a division. Fraction equals division. So to undo division, the opposite operation is to multiply. So what am I going to do on this problem? P over 4 is equal to 14. The opposite of dividing by 4 is to multiply by 4. So I'm going to multiply 4 on each side. Multiply this by 4. And what ends up happening is 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we end up with 1p left. And then 14 times 4, you can use your calculator if you like. I think it's 56. So p is equal to 56. Alright, let's take a look at number 4. It's a little more complicated because they give you fractions and negative numbers, and there's 2 steps. And so we notice that we need to get b all by itself. So in order for b to be by itself, we have to get rid of this fraction, negative 4/5. So the opposite of a negative 4/5 is to add 4/5. So let's just do that right here. We have plus 4/5, and we're going to add 4/5 to this guy, and we're going to use the calculator. Well, before we punch this final answer up, notice that negative 4/5 added to a positive 4/5 equals 0, so you're just left with b, which is good because you always solve for one positive value of the variable, whatever letter it is, x, b, c, it doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and use our calculator here. And there it is. And move it over for you so you can see what we're doing here. And remember, we've done enough of these, you should know how to do these by now. It is alpha and y equals, and it gives us our fraction menu, and we're going to choose number 1, numerator, denominator, and 329. And to move out of the top of the fraction, you use the down arrow, and it's over 45. To that, we need to add. So we go alpha, y equals again, and 4/5. And when we hit enter, it's going to give us a fraction. Okay, so b is equal to 73/9. b is equal to 73 over 9. Okay, and this is probably a good answer, but sometimes the number may be expressed in terms of a number, a whole number, followed by a fraction. Okay? This is fairly easy to do on the calculator, so let's try that. Let's go back to our calculator. You still have 73/9 on the calculator, so hit alpha y equals again, and this time we want to convert it from number 3, numerator denominator, to u in d. U in d stands for the units, or the whole numbers, and the numerator denominator means it's going to put it in mixed number form. So 73 over 9 is the same thing as 8 1/9. That's 8 1/9. Either way, these answers are both the same. Alright, well, let's take a look at number 6. Moving right along. This is a fairly easier problem than the last one. We're going to add 30 to both sides. Trying to isolate x, right? So if you add 30, using the calculator to make sure we don't make an arithmetic mistake, we have negative 122 added to 30, or add 30 to that, I should say, and the answer is a negative 92. Alright, no problem here. So we have x equals negative 92. Alright, okay, let's take a look at number 8. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is just sort of talk about what's happening here on number 8. We have -7 is being added to x divided by 2. So -7 is being added to x divided by 2. So the first thing I want to do is undo this -7 by adding 7. Okay, so if you add -7 and a +7, the answer is 0, so that's gone from the problem. So we have x divided by 2 is equal to +4. Okay, now this is similar to the first problem we did, I think, up there at the top, where if we're taking something and dividing it by 2, to undo it, we're going to multiply by 2. So we're just reversing what we're doing. Alright, we're going to multiply that together. We're going to multiply this one together by 2. Notice we've done the same thing on the left and the right sides of the equation. So that cancels out, and we're left with x equals 4 times 2 is 8. Alright, moving along. A couple more problems left to go. Number 10. It has, let's have a little more room. We have -8 being subtracted by 10b, and it's equal to a -118. So let's first get rid of this -8 by adding 8. Okay, add 8. And if we want to use the calculator to double check it, no shame in that. So we have -118. To that we're going to add 8. Then we get a -110. Alright, let's write that down. Oops. Equals a -110. Okay, and notice once again that these, oops, we added 8, right? -8 added to 8 is 0, so that's gone. And don't forget that that minus 10b is the same thing as saying I have a -10b left. So now, don't try to add these, because what this literally translates to, when you have a number next to a variable without an operator in between it, without adding or subtracting or a division sign, this just means that we have -10 times b. So to undo times, we're going to divide. To undo times, we're going to divide, not by 10, but by -10. So divide both sides by -10. Negative divided by negative is a +1, so I'm left with b equals +11. Okay. If you divide that out on the calculator, you'll see. Let's try it just to make sure. So we have -110. Divide that by -10. And that's what it equals, +11. Okay, good. The last problem is actually a little easier than a couple of ones that we've already done, so it's good news. It's a distribution problem. Erase this here. So we have to take 8 times 1 and get 8. Then we're going to multiply 8 times 8 to get 64m. And now it's equal to 136. And now this problem is a lot easier to deal with. So 8 plus, we're going to get rid of a +8 by subtracting 8. Subtract 8. Okay. Back to our calculator just to make sure. We have a 136. Subtract 8. And it's equal to 128. Alright. 128. And 8 minus 8 is 0, so that's gone. And we have 64m. Alright. Now, we're going to take 64 times m. 64 times m. How do we undo multiplication? By division. So 64 times m. That's what we have. We're going to divide by 64 to get rid of it. Divide by 64. So, once you get good at these, you don't need to worry about what you're doing. You'll just know what to do. So we have 64 divided by 64, and that equals 1. And 128 divided by 64. Now let's just punch that up to see what we get. So we have 128. Divide that by 64 positive. and we get positive 2. Okay, so go ahead and do the odd problems on this, and hope you had a lot of success with this.